What's up guys, Jeremy Scott here. I'm gonna show you some very important skills and details that you need to have down. You need to practice these and you need to practice these religiously. If you want to reach your goals, if you want to see results, if you want your body to change, if you want to transform, you've got to learn how to do this thing that I'm going to teach you today. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button down below. This numero uno, when it comes to getting your body to change, when it comes to losing weight, building muscle, burning fat, maintaining, this is the most important part of your fitness program. You can't skip this. And this is the ultimate form of accountability, which is logging your food into MyFitnessPal. So I'm gonna show you how to correctly log your food into MyFitnessPal. You need to know how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat you're taking in. And if you wanna go further, you can even focus on grams of sodium, you can focus on grams of fiber, you can focus on grams of sugar. With fat loss, grams of sugar is very important. Because if your goal to lose weight, let's say you need to take in 1,200 calories, but you're taking in too many grams of sugar, then you're not gonna get the desired result. And you're gonna lose weight because you're in a caloric deficit, but you will have too much body fat because that sugar is gonna convert into body fat. So if you've ever heard that a calorie is a calorie, that is a lie. That's not true. A calorie is not a calorie. The question is, what does that calorie consist of? Does that calorie consist of protein? Does it consist of carbs? Does it consist of fat? So of those 1,200 calories that you're eating, or 2,000, or whatever the amount of calories that you're eating, what percentage is protein, what percentage is carbs, what percentage is fat? So that's what we're gonna look into today. And I'm gonna show you how to properly use MyFitnessPal. And I'm gonna explain to you why it's important to log your food into MyFitnessPal, to keep track and to stay on track with your macros. What are your macros? Protein, carbs, and fat. Don't get overwhelmed by this. It's actually really simple. And once you get into the habit, and once you make this a habit, but it requires doing it and practicing it over and over, practicing it enough times to where it actually becomes a habit. A lot of people sit on their phones and scroll anyways while you're eating. So if you're on your phone, you might as well make it productive and log your calories and keep track of how many protein, carbs, and grams of fat you're taking in. So I'm gonna show you how to do that today. Okay, so let's open that on up. So this is for today. So you're gonna have a dashboard. Don't worry about the dashboard too much. Don't worry about the news feed. Don't worry about the plans, because the plan that you're on hopefully is the plan that I've given you. So you gotta log your food. Ultimate form of accountability. Your coach needs to see how many grams of protein, carbs, and fat you're taking in. This is how you hold yourself accountable to yourself and also to your coach. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on diary. I'm gonna be using this the most. So these up top, that's just the goal. Don't worry about that, because focus on the goal that I've set for you inside the app, inside of the Trainerize app. That's your food. Don't worry about the exercise. Don't worry about these numbers. I'm gonna show you what to focus on. So I like to log all my food under breakfast. I log all the food into one area. It just makes it easier for me instead of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because I eat about 5 to 6 times per day anyways. So my food would be getting logged all in different categories. So I just keep it all in one spot. It makes things a lot easier. I keep it right under breakfast. So first thing we're gonna do, can you guess, is add food. Real basic, we're gonna add our food. So the meals that I frequently eat, it's already here in my history, okay? Most of the stuff. And once I start to type it in, it's probably gonna come up. So I had my egg whites for breakfast. So here we go. I had 1.5 cup of egg whites. If I change the serving, let's say today I had 2.5 cups. I just change it down here by scrolling to the amount, and it's gonna change the number of servings over here, right on this end. So I had 1.5 cups, and I'm gonna go ahead and click that check mark and check that off. And I also had a Dave's Killer Bread bagel. So I'm gonna type that in down here, Dave's, and it's something I frequently eat. So it's gonna pop up. I'm just gonna type in the word bagel, and there we are, Dave's Everything Bagel. I click on that. How many did I have? I only had one. So I'm gonna go ahead and check that off. So food logged, it lets you know that it was logged. and then I added some ghee butter on top of that bagel. So ghee, 1 tablespoon, Carrington Farms ghee, and then I'll go ahead and check that off. So if this is a meal that I frequently eat all the time, what I can do, I can go ahead and create a meal. If I'm eating this every morning, so I don't have to log each individual food, I can go ahead and create a meal. So if I want to create a meal, all I have to do is go to add food, and I can go to my meals, and these are the meals that I've already created. So in here, you can create a new meal. So you click right here and go create a meal, and then name your meal. So I would name that first meal, which once again is my egg whites, bagel, and ghee butter on top of the bagel. So I would name it egg whites and bagel breakfast, or whatever you want to call it. You could call it yummy breakfast or whatever you want. So you would go yummy, that's your breakfast. That's the name of the meal. And then you can add your items to the meal. So I can add my egg whites, my 1.5 cups of egg whites that I have. And then I can add my bagel, everything bagel. And let's say that was what I have every morning. So there's the meal, okay? And then I save it. So then that's gonna be in my list of foods. So it's easier to log in the morning. I don't have to log each individual food. It's already in there in the meals. So let's say you have chicken and rice every day for lunch. You can just do that as well. You can make your chicken and rice meal that you have for lunch, and you have that meal created. If that's a common, frequent meal that you have, you can just create that as a meal. So I had that, and then about 2 hours later, I had mango, which is my favorite. It's my favorite fruit. I eat mango every day, twice a day at least. Put some tahini on it. It's like dessert. So 4 ounces of mango, and I had also watermelon. I had watermelon, so I'm gonna type that in. Watermelon, and search. So there's a bunch of results. So 1 watermelon square, 1 cup. I had half a cup. So we're gonna change that to 1/2 cup of watermelon. And then I also had Kodiak waffles. I had 2 waffles here. So I'm gonna check that off. So there we are. So here we are along the way. This is what I've eaten so far today. And here's my food. So here's where you'll use this tab right here. So I can click on food, and there's my macros. So as I look at my macros, what do I see? Yellow is protein, the turquoise is carbs, and the purple is fat. So what are my goals, and what am I looking for? Or what did my coach give me if I had a coach telling me what to eat, protein, carbs, and fat? And what do these numbers tell me? And how can I reach my goal by looking at these numbers and seeing, so what do these numbers mean to me? And what should they mean to you? So what this means to me, for what my goals are, for the amount of muscle that I want to build, I need to be taking in at least 40% protein, and I need around 40% carbs, and I need around 20% fat. My macros are 40, 40, 20. 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% fat. So as I log my food throughout the day, I'm keeping an eye on these numbers. So what does this tell me? Am I eating enough protein today? No. So the next meal that I eat, should it be an apple and some almonds? No, probably not. That's just carbs and fats. That's not gonna help me hit those macros. Should I eat a protein shake? Maybe, and a couple rice cakes? Yeah, probably so. That's a better choice. 2 scoops of protein, 50 grams of protein, and some fats in there. That's gonna help my macros get to where they need to be. I don't need a lot of carbs right now. So this guides me. This is like trying to get to your destination, and this is your GPS. This is your roadmap. This is how you're gonna get to your destination, by following this map. Your macros, this pie chart, this is your map on a GPS. This is how you see results. If I really want to start looking at the nutrients, I can do that as well. There's my protein, there's my carbs, there's my fiber, there's my sugars, and those are a little bit high right now because of the fruits. And there's my fats, there's my saturated fats, there's my cholesterol, there's my sodium, and even shows you breakdown of the vitamins, okay? And there's the calories, if you wanna look at the calories. I don't really use that tab, I use nutrients, and I mainly use macros just to make sure I'm going in the right direction. So this is what we got so far. So if I add for my next meal, protein shake. So I'm gonna go to add food, and I'm gonna click whey protein, because that's what I'm having. And I'm gonna have 2 scoops of Bodytech whey. 2 scoops, 240 calories, 6 carbs, 2 fats, 48 protein. High in protein, low in carbs, low in fats. So if I just have 2 scoops of protein, I go back. And once again, I'm keeping everything logged under breakfast, which is fine. It doesn't matter which category it's logged as long as you log it. Now I look at my macros. Look at that. 40% protein, just under 40% carbs, and right around 20% fat. It doesn't have to be exactly on the dot, just as close as possible. So now I'm learning how to eat correctly. I know that if I would have had, so let me take that protein shake off. Let's say I'm hungry. So I'm gonna have a snack. I'm gonna have an apple, and I'm gonna have some random string cheese, a piece of cheese, because that's what I'm craving. So I'm just gonna give into my cravings. Let's say I have, so now let's check out my macros. Look at that. This is horrible in comparison to where I should be for what my goals are. This isn't bad. I'm not eating bad foods, but when we look at the breakdown of macros, this is not good. This isn't gonna work for me. So this is why we don't get the result that we want. I'm not taking in the right amount of nutrients. We're not seeing results. We think we're eating good, but when you look at the macros, you're not eating as good as you could be, or you're not eating as good as you think you are. So it's so important to get a breakdown of how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat you're taking in. You can't just mindlessly eat whatever you want and think that you're gonna get the result that you wanna get. This is how you get what you want out of the process, by holding yourself accountable, doing what you say you're gonna do, and eating the right amount of protein, carbs, and fats. So what I need to do, look at my macros and say, okay, that's not the right thing to eat. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that apple. I'm gonna delete that shake, and I wanna see some results. I wanna get more out of this process, so I'm gonna eat the right foods. So this is how we log our foods into MyFitnessPal, and we keep track. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be right on target. It's about getting into the habit of logging your food and being aware of what you're consuming and being aware of what you're eating. This is called accountability, learning to measure out your food. So this is how we use MyFitnessPal. Check the nutrients, protein, carbs, fats, look at your macros, make sure your macros are lining up with the goals that I've set for you inside of the fitness app. So this is how it's done when it comes to logging your food into MyFitnessPal. So there's a lot of different options in here. So if I type in chicken, there is boneless, skinless, chicken breast, whatever. If I hit search, there's a bunch of different options. Okay, if something's not matching up right, just go ahead and get with me and we'll figure out what the problem is. A lot of food has barcode scans on it. You can scan the barcode if you have the premium app. If not, just type in the name of the food and put it inside the app and it'll come up. Make sure you are distinguishing the difference with weighing your food out raw versus weighing your food out cooked. So once again, we got our dash. I don't use the dash. I go straight to my diary. I focus on the diary. I focus on the food. I focus on my macros. I focus on my nutrients. Once you've logged your food into MyFitnessPal and you're using the app, make sure that you hit the More tab, which is down here on the bottom. And you're gonna go into settings. Once you've synced it up with the fitness app, diary settings, diary sharing, and make sure it's on public. And make sure you go back inside the app and make sure it's all synced up. Okay, repeat that process until it's all synced up so that me as your coach, I can see what you're eating. You have goals. I'm giving you a plan. You need to follow that plan if you want to get results. This is how you get it done. You eat the right amount of protein, carbs, and fats. So now let's talk about weighing out your food and how to properly weigh out your food and measure your food and reading the nutrition labels on the back of your food. So if I look at this almond butter and I want to have some almond butter, so what I'm looking at, we're looking at the calories. and the serving size. Serving size is 2 tablespoons. Looking at what's in the back of the food and reading your nutrition labels properly, we've got 17 grams of fat, 80 grams of sodium, 6 grams of carbs, 3 grams of fiber, 7 grams of protein. So this food is high in calories. It's pretty high in fat, so I consider this more of a source of fat. Does it have protein in it? Does it have carbs in it? Yes, it has protein, it has carbs in it, but this is more a source of fat. Almonds, peanuts, cashews, almond butter, cashew butter. I put these in the same category. If I tell you you need to eat more fats, you can eat things like this, olive oil, coconut oil. These foods are very high in fat, so these are gonna bring your grams of fat up. However, every gram of fat has 9 calories. Every gram of protein, carbs, has 4 calories. So keep in mind, if you eat a lot of fats and you're trying to lose weight, your fats are gonna make your calories go up very, very fast. That's why eating out is not the best option, because there's a lot of hidden oils and fats that are inside these foods that are gonna make your calories go up. These sauces, these dressings, excess calories. Sometimes we don't account for these calories and we hit that caloric surplus and we have trouble losing weight. This is one of the reasons why, because the fats are so high in calories. Also, eating out has a lot of sodium in those foods, so you're gonna get bloated. You're gonna retain a lot of water. So you're gonna need to get yourself a food scale and learn to start weighing out your food. I'm gonna show you how to properly weigh out your food in the next video. That's why I said make sure you subscribe and hit that like so you can get notified when that next video comes out and I show you how to properly weigh your food out. For example, should I weigh this baked sweet potato out raw or should I weigh it out cooked? I'm gonna get to that in the next video. Banana, okay, should I weigh it out? Should I put it in a cup? This all depends. All of this depends. It depends on, the most important thing is being consistent. Should I log my water into MyFitnessPal? Is it important to log my water? Do I need to? If something has 5 calories in it, should I log it? It all depends. Weighing your food out, keeping track of all your grams of protein, carbs, and fat, logging it into MyFitnessPal. So I hope that this video is helpful, and I hope that you learned how to properly use MyFitness app as a useful and effective tool to help you to get results and to help you to transform your body. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like, okay? Share this video to your friends who are interested in fitness or who have questions about logging their food. You wanna help them out as well. And if you would like more info, visit www.quickfit1.com. I'll put the link down below in the description so you can get signed up for online coaching today if you have not signed up. Or you can get signed up for one-on-one personal training as well. Jeremy the Machine Scott